Hello, hello. This is Irene with SaugaTalks. Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you. I'm incredibly happy to host absolutely fascinating people in tech here on SaugaTalks. And if you're not following us, you should fix that problem right now because we're on LinkedIn, we're on X, we're on YouTube. But at the age of the AI, automation, digital transformation, cutting edge of the technology and adoption practices. So today with us, Dr.Efi Pylarinou. Dr. Efi, how are you? I'm so incredibly privileged to host you today.
Thank you very much, Irene, for having me. And in this age of AI, we must say we are not avatars, right? We are the real thing. So expect us to be human.
We're very human, and we'll encourage everyone who probably sees us or listen to our podcast or finds us on LinkedIn or X or YouTube, as I mentioned, comment. Let us know, do you feel our presence? Do you feel our energy? Do you feel our excitement about tech trends, about what's coming and what's already here? So, Dr. Efi, we decided we're going to talk about how businesses thinking about AI native practices. Okay, what does it mean to them? What does it mean to the customers? What does it mean to us as a society? All right. So just to start today's conversation, what's your point of view? What's the state of AI right now that we believe will influence as businesses thinking like an AI native?
I think there is a consensus that AI is a general purpose technology that is going to transform the world. And unfortunately, GPT, which was really an economic term, economists used the GPT to stand for general purpose technology, and they were referring to technologies that were used across industries, across sectors, that technologies that were evolving technologically fast, AI is, and third and most important, that they were technologies that there was combinatorial innovation, meaning they can be combined with other technologies to create new types of business models, services, everything. And AI, the advancements in AI, generative AI is really a GPT, and we agree that it's going to transform everything. However, when I say an AI native business, we don't have one yet. They are not born yet. We have businesses that are using advanced AI tools, but they're run in a very traditional way. The best example is take OpenAI, which is, let's say, the mother or the godmother or the godfather, if you want, of large language models and advancements in LLMs, but they're run very traditionally. They're not innovating using AI. Their strategy is not based on AI. Not even their customer services are based in AI. They're just a traditionally run business that has an AI tool. So in the spectrum of digital transformation, which is continuously evolving, never stopping, I believe you agree that digital transformation is a moving target, if you want. It's a never-ending process. And now we are at an inflection point where everything is going to change. And all those businesses that have been on the journey to become digitally native, some of them have succeeded, some of them are still trying to get there. And now they're going to be faced with the next big phase, which is how to become AI native. And we will have the opportunity to discuss what that really means by understanding the difference with what we have today, where we're at today.
Just hit me. You know what? That's why I love what I'm doing. I'm speaking with the brightest people in the industry, all right? And every conversation just sparkle more thought-provoking evidence. How about that? You mentioned, AI native in a way that most businesses use AI tools, right, as a helpful hand, enhance us human, right? We get that. AI native, it really mean that AI practices, AI culture is deeply into the fabric of the companies. Could you please describe this kind of enterprise to us? What does it really mean to be AI native? Because now I am intrigued.
Irene, you said it correctly. Think of 15 years ago when traditional businesses started using all sorts of digital tools, analytics, and maybe some APIs here and there, and so on. They were not digitally native. Why? A digitally native business, we know by now, we understand, is customer centric and data driven. It gave rise to the experience economy, which didn't exist before. Now, when we move towards AI native businesses, we are talking about moving from digital to intelligent, which is another level. It is another level of complexity. In my opinion, the way I think of this is we will have the opportunity to hack complexity in a way that we've not been able to do before. And let me give you a sense, a flavor of how this can look like. When we look at the business, we can understand it by looking at three major areas: the customer area, the enterprise area, and the ecosystem area. These are three areas that help us understand somehow the complexity of a business today. And especially since digitally native mindsets and cultures and the digitally native archetype has brought us to platform businesses, to marketplaces. That's the way that we can look at these complex ecosystems. Again, the platforms, the marketplaces, the platform-based ecosystems, and start understanding the complexity. Now, digital has helped us in different areas. In the customer area, we have a lot of dimensions where digital has helped. In the enterprise too, in the ecosystem too, but they're all siloed. They're all independent. As a mathematician, we used to use a lot the term that, we look at processes that are independent in the model, but in reality, they're not. And in reality, the customer area is not independent of the enterprise area. So AI is going to help us with this interconnectedness between these areas and how to tap and find opportunities in these interconnections. So that gives you a flavor of what is the next step of intelligence that we might be able to acquire with advancements in AI. And as we speak, technologically, AI is advancing. And I think that we will have this opportunity, the leaders that are interested in understanding where there are opportunities that are not obvious right now, they will have the opportunity to shape these types of businesses.
This really helps to spell out, right, some of the complex terms in sort of digestible way. So thank you for this very much. And yet, okay, let's bring this good vision, great vision even, right, to the real world. That's where I live. That's where I want to be. So in that sense, the world of ideas and world of reality and possibilities, many companies, they are who they are right now. So for them to transition, as you know, with digital transformation, with any technology evolution we live through, even in our lifetime, right? We live through internet adoption, right? We live through so many exciting things, telecom before, right? So the point is, how do you become the business who really wants to keep this wave going for yourself, right? And if you're not born AI native, you cannot fake that you're an AI native for sure, but to take part in this future economy, right, and few opportunity. So what's the key steps to start that?
Well, I mean, we need frameworks to start understanding how to think about where we are and how we can move forward, whether it's within an existing organization that is experimenting to begin transformation. And I highly recommend that is the way to go forward. You cannot wait until these technologies are mature. We are at a very early stage from a technology perspective, but one has to start this journey, because that's the only way to understand and get ideas how to use it within each organization. Now, if we think of, if there was going to be a company that's born in, I don't know, 2 years, 5 years, that is truly AI native, how would that look like? That is the interesting framework to look at. How would they set up the enterprise at the different dimensions, whether it's at the dimension of decision making, or the dimension of strategy, the dimension of discovery, the dimension of how to innovate, all these areas together, they are interconnected, and we must start understanding how to use AI to link all these and learn from each other and get feedback loops that are exponentially more than what we have today. Because digital tools gave us feedback loops with the customer mainly, right? And in some cases within the organization, especially on platforms and marketplaces. But here we're going to have feedback loops that are even more intelligent. They're not just plain data. They will be training models and helping us decide. Let me give you an example. Let's talk about a concrete example. Let's think about a conglomerate, and I have in mind a company. It's actually an example that we've used in our book when we talk about this topic. They're in the business of coffee and restaurant businesses, right? And they decided 2 years ago to go into the pet business. Okay, that seems like, what's the relation between, coffee lovers and restaurant lovers and
serving coffees to pets? No, is that a new trend? Coffee for pets?
No, it might. I think it's probably that most pet lovers, they also love coffee, holding their coffee, and maybe that's the thing. Now, imagine that you use AI to discover what are the possibilities of adding new non-adjacent businesses to what you already have. You understand the difference?
I understand how incredibly crucial AI will be to do that research, right? And to suggest.
So that is using AI At the
Yeah.
enterprise level, only for decision making at the strategy, if you want, level. Imagine using it also at the existing customer level. Imagine using it at the ecosystem level with your suppliers. So it becomes extremely complex. But the idea is that you become to shift your mindset and you deeply understand as a leader and as the culture of the organization that everything is interconnected, which we know in theory, but we don't act on it, and leverage that, tap into those opportunities with and empowered, if you want, with these technologies.
I love this example. You know what? This will resonate with our audience. I already kind of thinking further. You know what? AI can suggest the ways, right? Knowing your business, knowing your customers can suggest the future line of businesses, right? The future area of growth that you couldn't think of. So I love that kind of, application of AI where it's not just cost effective and productivity tools, right? These are really creative services that we can enhance our own ingenuity with. Incredible.
Yes, and if you look, for example, in the customer area, you can look at how to tap into opportunities that make customer experiences from the digital realm to the physical realm seamless. We are continuously looking for those ways, and there's innovating ways, and there's learnings from current data that we can extract. And this is not possible with the current digital mindset. And again, this is just going beyond the usual efficiencies that we are starting to understand about, using these general purpose technologies just to do things faster or more cost effectively. It's about really creating a new type of organization, a new business archetype. This is the vision. And this is where there is huge opportunity for leaders to really scale and create a new business archetype that is called the AI native archetype. And that it is a separate one from, of course, the traditional businesses, but separate from digitally native business. It's a level above, and from blockchain native businesses that are a separate category.
Exactly. So bringing back to the real specific industries of today, all right? So which one, in your experience, have been the most successful in adapting AI native practices as we speak? Meaning that, right, we're not the only ones who are thinking about the future, right? But for now, industry leaders talk about it. They definitely educate themselves, right? They start, getting their feet wet. Which industry you think shows the most potential today?
It depends on the region. Geographically, I would say that both in the West and in the East, there are examples of big companies that are launching and experimenting with what I like to call, and NVIDIA, I think, calls them AI factories, where really they are looking at hundreds, and when I say hundreds, close to 1,000 use cases of AI. I think that we are still at the stage where most of them are around gaining efficiencies, which is not what is going to move us to an AI native business model. But through these experimentations, we will uncover AI native businesses and new revenues. For example, in the area where I dwell, which is financial services, which is broadening too, because financial services is not what it used to be. You had to go to the bank to do your banking. Now it's kind of going banking everywhere because it's digital, because it's embedded, because it's, in the East, it's in super apps, and it's really changing, and the boundaries of the industry are blurring. They're not confined to the physical presence of banks. And in that area, I can foresee that you and I might have an AI companion that is really looking after our own interest in terms of our financial wellness, and is independent of other providers that are selling products to us. So our companion could be giving us advice in terms of personal financial management, in terms of investments, in terms of insurance, and giving us guidance and interacting with us in a way that is personalized for sure, and then prompting us and giving us some choices to consider, and then going to the market and executing. So I think that's one area where I see the potential of our life really changing, and clearly, beyond the area where I'm more focused on, I think health, the health sector is definitely a big beneficiary. And there it's a great example where we see how AI is used in drug research and development already very successfully, right? And imagine that in other industries, but there already we have huge impact. And over the next couple of years, we will see that the ripple effects and the network effects of that.
We cannot skip the part about challenges, okay? Right. What are the entry barriers? I know they're lower now than they were 10 years ago. I know incredible evolution happening in front of us. Can you please name maybe a few critical challenges that you see that really hold
Yes.
companies, from adapting? Yeah.
Well, there's many challenges. I'll start with the ethical challenges that clearly exist. We have the challenge of the fact that these technologies right now are expensive. They're in short supply, and therefore they are accessible to few directly, right? There is unfortunately concentration of power increasing because of the funding needed for all these startups. So we have fewer and fewer players that are dominating these markets. And we have all the regulatory issues and the fragmentation and the polarization of the politics, the geopolitics that are related, because everybody understands today that these technologies are linked to the fourth industrial revolution, and therefore to the development of the economies, and therefore we're talking geopolitics. So these are the major challenges: geopolitics, regulation, ethics, and concentration of power. Having said that, this is not the first time that we are faced with such challenges, right? We can argue that this is larger scale, this is more important, and so on, yes. But the reason I feel that we all should get involved with our own way, with our own drop in the ocean, we should get involved, understand what is at stake, understand these technologies. Luckily, they are accessible through these chatbots and so on. Educate yourselves, everybody, so we can all form an opinion, and we can all help so we don't increase the digital divide that was closing and now again is widening.
Yeah, and now I do want to talk about the latest book that you co-author. Okay, so by the way, congratulations. It's a big deal. It's a lot of work. I can only imagine. All right. So I encourage everyone. We will place link in the description of this video. The Fast Future Blur. Okay, that's the name of the book. Discover transformative interconnections shaping the future. Congratulations again on the launch of the book. Dr. Efi, you authored the chapter in the book, right? So tell us about it.
Well, let me tell you, the idea of the book is exactly what you said, that there are great opportunities for leaders that want to shape our future to look at interconnections between advanced technologies, socioeconomic and environmental trends, and tap into those opportunities. Now, in the fourth industrial revolution, we know the importance of artificial intelligence, blockchain, metaverse, augmented and virtual reality. We are also aware of socioeconomic trends that are very important in our future, like the future of work, the future of health, the future of mobility, the future of leadership and strategy, the future of money and finance, and also the trends of the circular and regenerative economy. So in our book, we look at select interconnection between those, and we've developed frameworks to help leaders recognize, before they become obvious, some of these opportunities. And one example is this archetype that's not yet born of an AI native business. And there is a framework in our book that helps leaders understand how to navigate that. There's other interconnections, like we look at how the principles of regenerative economy are going to shape the digital platform model that's already a successful model, and what opportunities are there, or opportunities at the intersection of AI and healthcare, opportunities at the intersection of the future of mobility and the metaverse, of the future of leadership and augmented reality. So all these interconnections present great opportunities to lead into the future. And again, it's a book that looks at opportunities to shape the future. It's not a book looking at the interconnected polycrisis that the World Economic Forum talks about. And risks are definitely there, they're real. But as leaders, you have to look at both and tap into the opportunities while keeping in mind the risks.
I want to encourage everyone to follow Dr. Efi Pylarinou on LinkedIn, on X, on YouTube. Okay, I'm a huge fan. Endless amount of insights and very practical advices, fantastic interviews, podcasts, everything right there. And of course, we're gonna attach the link to the book because it's promising. I want to be part of the future, and of course, the incredible list of authors and co-authors who contributed. So absolutely, time is flying. Time is flying. I could stay on and on because we only scratch the surface here, right? At the same time, we want to leave our audience with few takeaways. If you don't mind, Dr. Efi, what's like the good summary of our conversation? And of course, this is just a teaser for what comes next.
Well, I want to leave you with the following. One, there is an emerging, unborn, yet new business archetype, and that is the AI native business archetype. And I encourage everybody to read our framework in our book to understand what that new business archetype is all about. The second is that if you don't keep pace with the advancements, and you don't keep learning, and you don't keep dealing and understanding the complexity that we're faced with, you're going to be developing more blind spots than you had before. That is something that is a reality, and I advise everybody to find their ways, their mix of upskilling. There's all sorts of ways, formal, informal, digital, phygital, physical, to do that. And last, I have to say, we do live in a fast future blur that is challenging, but has also opportunities.
Fantastic, fantastic. Thank you so very much for speaking with me today. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Irene, for having me.